Today we begin our next week as we journey through the Lord's Prayer, and our focus throughout this week will be on forgiveness. And we're going to be hearing from Luke's Gospel in Luke chapter 11, which is where we actually find the Lord's Prayer in that Gospel. And in verse 4, Jesus says, "And forgive us our sins, for we ourselves forgive everyone indebted to us, and do not bring us to the time of trial." So in the Lord's Prayer, the version that we say most typically at Brewster Baptist Church, we use the words debts and debtors. In Luke's Gospel, it's "and forgive us our sins." And again, remembering that to sin is to miss the mark. Think of somebody shooting archery at a target and not hitting the bullseye or missing the target entirely. That's literally what sin means, to miss the target or the mark. But note what Jesus says, "For we ourselves forgive everyone indebted to us." Do we really? Do I? Do you? On our computers, there is something called a default setting, where this is just how a program operates. This is its default. This is how it's set up. It's programmed. Part of what Jesus is teaching in the Lord's Prayer is our default programming should be, we are going to forgive everyone who sins against us, everyone who is indebted to us. We are going to forgive them. How do you respond to that? Some of us might say, well, that sounds terrible. You mean I'm supposed to forgive that person who hurt me in this way? And some of those hurts may have been life-altering, incredibly painful, incredibly difficult. And I'm supposed to forgive that person? This is a serious question. But note the end part of this verse, "and do not bring us to the time of trial." What happens when you and I fail to forgive, when we choose not to forgive everyone who's indebted to us? Who is hurt the most? Is it the person we fail to forgive? Well, if that person is someone known to us, if they are a family member, a friend, a colleague, a coworker, a fellow staff member where we work, yeah, there's dynamics that are impacted. What about a person who's a total stranger, someone who cuts us off on the road or does something in a store or out in public, and we don't forgive them? Who's hurt? I would suggest in almost every case, if not all cases, the person who is hurt the most when we fail to forgive someone, whether that person is someone very near and dear to us or a total stranger, the person who's hurt the most when we fail to forgive is ourselves. And that's why Jesus, in teaching us to pray, says to forgive as we ourselves are forgiven.